Matt coming at you for the final episode in 2024 of the Triangle Tennis Podcast, the premier men's recreational tennis podcast east of the Mississippi. What a run it's been. I feel eternally grateful that Matt got so tired of hearing me talk about the need for a podcast that he actually agreed to start one. Thank you so much to our amazing partners, Sarah and Jody, for being okay with us doing this and wasting a not insignificant amount of time on podcast-related matters. Thank you so much to everyone who's listened, who's liked and subscribed, and if you haven't, you should do it. Thank you to all of the amazing guests we've had on. Thank you to our all-star Sultan of Marketing, Daniel Marchek, and perhaps most importantly, thank you to the East End Boys for your tireless efforts to promote good doodliness and the endless amounts of content you're all creating with Swing Vision, which also, if you don't have it, you should get it. We will be back for another season in 2025, and y'all are the ones that make it possible. Thank you. Matt, anything to add?
Oh, no, it's been great. Yeah, if you wouldn't have been so fucking annoying, this never would have happened.
The moral of the story is being annoying gets it done.
Yeah.
Follow suit. Now, Matt, we have a very special guest today. Some might even call him a legal eagle. Can you tell us who we've got on?
I'm not sure who's calling him a legal
Many
eagle.
people. I was actually just in a hipster coffee shop where they're talking about a local legal eagle.
I think they were talking about a local legend, someone who has more titles than folks that I know, been to sectionals multiple times, come back with lots of hardware, our official, unofficial, but really official legal officer, Max Gregson.
Woo! Max, welcome to the pod.
Thanks. I'm mostly my primary resume line now is two-time guest on the Triangle Tennis Pod.
Not
that
officially unofficial attorney to the Triangle Tennis Podcast, which I believe is technically correct.
That's firmly secondary to two-time guest.
I think you're our first two-time guest.
No, Ryan was the first one.
Oh, Ryan was the first. You are second two-time guest.
You are in a very select club.
I'm joining esteemed company at that point.
Yes.
Esteemed.
Yeah.
We do have a club for that, actually. It's a private club, and so it's its own thing.
Welcome to the number twos club, Max. It's a real
right.
honor to put you in it.
Yes.
With that, folks, today we're going to be talking about the spring season. We're going to be dropping some plugs on you. And when I say the spring season, we're going to be getting into like why it's important, why it's a little bit different, the format, just the basics of playing USTA anywhere in the country in the spring. We'll get into plugs. And then lastly, but certainly not leastly, we're going to talk to Max about his team's run to 7-5 sectional combo sectionals and a little bit about that and just get the whole story. So with that, Max, what is the format of the spring season? What are folks signing up for if they're on a spring team?
Go for it.
So if they're signing up for 18 plus or 40 plus, it changes. And that's new rules this year. If you're signing up at 18 plus, you're signing up for a total of 5 courts per match. So 2 of those courts are going to be singles courts. Then the other 3 are going to be doubles courts. So 8 players per team per match. So realistically, to field a healthy team, you're going to need 12, 13 guys at least, because not everybody's going to be available every match. And then if you're doing...
Max, if I'm not mistaken, what wins championships again?
It's always availability.
Thank you. I just wanted to confirm. Sometimes I forget. I just wanted to
availability is the best ability to have.
So as captains, because both of you guys have captained a bunch of teams, like how much do you factor in, hey, this is somebody who has no other hobbies, all they do is tennis, they're going to be ready for every match. Does that bump a player up in your recruitment ratings?
Tyler Carroll? Is that what you said?
If he already wasn't like a stud of enough player, like the fact that he's a stud and pretty much available at all the time. It's the same with Parv.
Yeah, Parv. Put that in that category.
That's the
Spencer. Yeah.
That's the spring anthem. ABA. Always be available. It's more important than closing in some ways.
It is. You can be the best player, but if you're available 2 matches, it's congratulations. That doesn't help the team that much.
Yeah.
Relatedly, hey, life happens sometimes. Who amongst us hasn't had to be a late scratch or had to work something out? How much does it factor in if a player is a regular late scratch? Does that bump them down those rankings?
Life happens to everybody. Yeah. Everybody's got unique circumstances. I'm not going to sit there and assume the worst in anybody. I don't think we all sign up and we all pay money because we want to play.
Right.
Yeah. Like nobody wants to sit there and call out late. Like it's an inconvenience for everybody when it happens. So we're all adults here, and I think we can all act like adults.
Yeah, you're being very diplomatic. I'll say it. Life happens to some people more than others, and that's a difficulty. And you know what? I'm calling myself out here because I've been a bit, despite being famously easy to captain, I've been a bit difficult this year because scheduling stuff with work has just been a killer for me, and I wonder how much exactly that's annoyed my captains throughout the year.
For the social leagues, I don't know if this would work so much for spring, but I have just stopped putting myself in the lineup because I assume that someone will drop out and then I'll just jump every single week. I've just jumped in. I haven't even put myself in the lineup because I already know I'm going to be in it.
That actually raises a great point, Matt, which is for the social leagues, it seems like, hey, there's a little bit of flexibility on start time and everyone be cool. You can make it happen in the winter. Start an hour early, an hour late. In y'all's experience, is there that same level of flexibility for spring matches, or do people tend to take those a bit more seriously?
It's definitely a bit more serious because a lot of those matches, the courts are, when you're talking start time, the courts are pretty much booked all day, all evening. So like you can't just start an hour late or an hour early. There's other matches that are league matches on those courts. If you're talking about making up like one court, want to do makeups, I try to give other captains the benefit of the doubt if it's just one court and all that good stuff. If I've got guys willing to do it. The other thing though is, and spring league again is a little more competitive than the other leagues, so guys will be a little more hesitant to do the makeups on the spring. Other captains will, as opposed to like summer singles, which doesn't really matter as much.
Like why is that, by the way, that spring matters more than other seasons? Because there's 3 distinct seasons, then you get the social leagues in the winter. Why is spring typically seen as the most important?
It counts for ratings. That's a primary thing. Big thing is it counts for ratings. And then it advances all the way to nationals. So it's a very large team format that advances all the way to nationals, which ultimately is factored into the ratings, how well your section does at nationals and all that fun stuff.
We got to give a shout out to the CHTC 40+ team from last year, which made it all the way to nationals.
Yep.
And I'm hearing reports that could be a team to keep an eye on this year. There are a few bumps, a few appeals, and then just some players that are very solid players. Are there any teams that y'all are aware of that you're keeping an eye on to make a deep run, like states and beyond?
Outside of that team, I'm not as familiar, but yeah, I think they're
not Team Hanover 5.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely gonna win a line this year.
Yeah.
I think we're definitely gonna win a line, which is basically the same as winning a golden ball or nationals. Like that's the same equivalent in my mind. So
that give me one line win at 5-0 over going to states for 4-5 any day. That would be electric. Max, you're a bit of a mastermind. Are any of your teams ones that you're like, this is one that like, is there a Raleigh 4-0 or 4-5 team that you're thinking you might have what it takes to go all the way?
If I'm involved in a 4-5 team, then it's not. No.
Yeah, we're not gonna win.
I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you that
we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna tailgate the shit out of the match.
See, this is why, Max, you're our attorney, though, because you've answered half the question and you haven't mentioned 4-0. So what 4-0 team is the one that you're putting together that you think is gonna be like the one? Make a prediction. Be bold.
I don't want to.
Be best.
I really don't want to. I don't want to show my hand that early either. But because they're all gonna be good.
Yeah.
I'm only captaining 2 4-0 teams this spring, and they're both. I don't captain in Durham, so I only captain in Raleigh and Cary. I don't captain in Durham, and both Raleigh and Cary, they're different players, but they're both going to be both going to be strong. They're both going to be. We finished runner up in both last year, and both teams are going to be improved upon from last year.
As per usual, Matt, you're going to captain a few teams as well. What are you looking for in players for your teams besides availability? We know availability is key.
That's really about it. Are you a douche?
That's a pro?
No, like that. Yeah, if you're not, as long as you're not a douche, you're available. You're pretty good at tennis. I'm not too picky right now because I'm not in a position to win. Pickleball, maybe pickleball would be a little different because we can actually win.
Because you're a pickle kingpin now.
There's actually some drama with that, but we can get into that later. Yeah.
Oh, tell us now. I can't wait any longer to know. What's the pickle problem?
So as most of we won our league pretty handily, and we are
the pickle juice.
Yes. Got a lot of pickle juice, yes. And we are advancing to the East Coast Championships, which is actually just states, but if we win, it'll say East Coast Championship, and I will claim that. Then we get an email that says, hey, end of year ratings are out. And I'm like, what is this? And I look at that, and then I look at everyone's rating, and it says, if you're above this rating, you cannot. We're not sure, but most of our guys got bumped up a lot. And so I asked them, I was like, hey, and I look at what the ratings are for our league and what the limits are. We have 12 guys on our team. 6 of them were above that limit. And you need 6 guys to play a pickleball match. So we literally would have 6 guys left. So I messaged the lady, and I was like, all of our players are gone. What are we going to do? So apparently they were updated, and I said it in the chat, and everyone was panicking. And then they gave us updated limits. We have lost 2 of our 3 ringers. So Nick Gilder, Justin Meng will not be able to play. They're
not ringers, appropriately self-rated pickleball players that have been scurrilously disqualified by an unjust system. And Max is our attorney, I believe. Could confirm and argue that in a court of law, court of pickle law.
A court of pickle law. Yes, we'll take them to pickle court. So yeah, we lost 2 of our 3 best players, but we maintain one of our best players, and then a couple of guys like Spencer and Billy would have gotten bumped out. I, on the other hand, played right-handed the first season, so I sucked, and so my rating didn't go up that high because I lost the first season because I played with my opposite hand. So I only
they really got you by the pickle there, though.
Yeah, they do. They do. It'll definitely be a little bit. There'll be more drama. We won't have the surefire. I think with those 2 guys, we probably would have won pretty handily. But now it's really up in the air. So we'll keep you updated on when the East Coast Championships are, because they'll be here. And they were at Chapel Hill Tennis Club last year. So we'll see.
So Max, we know about Matt's NDP, no douche policy. We know about his pickle recruitment. What are you looking for in the players on your 4-0 teams? Are you looking for a specific play style? Are you looking for an attitude? Like, how do you put those teams together?
I don't care how your game looks in terms of like play style and how it looks like. It's 4-0 tennis. You're going to see everything.
Yeah.
Ideally, you'll have a variety of play styles on the team just to give different people different things to look at during practices and stuff like that. You definitely want a balance of singles and doubles players. Obviously, it's going to lean heavy to the doubles because you're going to have 6 of your guys playing doubles and 2 of the guys playing singles. But those 2 singles lines are still important. So you want you want a handful of guys that are solid singles guys too. And then, the big thing, like everybody wants to win. Like that's not, but my teams are never going to be like win no matter the cost. That's what makes, and we'll talk about it later, but this run for combo was so special because the guys all got along, and we had an incredible turnout all the way down in Alabama, but it's because everybody wanted to be there for each other. There was no egos. Everything was great.
That's a good reminder. Like at the end of the day, this is recreational tennis, right? And so like fun.
Sometimes people forget.
Yeah. Hey, I've been guilty of it myself. But like at the end of the day, it's fun and a good workout first, and then like winning second. So if you can put all 3 of those things together, that's pretty rad though. Max,
I've noticed it can be difficult with singles if you don't have a self-rated guy. Like it seems like that's where it sometimes putting more chips into the doubles might be your best unless you do have a true like self-rated ringer. I've found that to be a difficult thing to balance and figure out.
Yeah, ultimately you can win a team match on doubles alone.
Yeah.
You can't win it on singles alone.
Yeah.
It's just the math. And if you're talking about making a deep run at states from the triangle, you're gonna need a high-end singles player.
Yeah.
It might not always be a self-rate, but it's somebody at that point where you're like, you should have definitely been bumped up a year ago and you weren't. Like this. And for context, last year I had both Dan Gallo and Brett Compton on a team.
Oh, I've been personally victimized by Brett Compton. Required to say it.
Both are now bumped to 4-5.
Yeah.
And we still finished runner-up in the spring.
I know. That's tough.
Both great players. Brett Compton in particular. Not only is he really good, it's not like he's got the Ryan Seiko serve that's 120 miles an hour. And so he'll just death by 1,000 cuts you and just break your will to be on a tennis court, which is what he did to me and Carrie. And also, he couldn't be a nicer guy. So it's you're not only are you just getting ground into dust by this guy, he's friendly and cordial, and it's not like you can get mad at him. He's just that good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty nasty 1-2 punch.
Dan will do that too, but then he'll lift up his shirt and then show his six pack, and then you feel extra like shit. He's beating me, and he's better looking than me. God damn it!
Insults plus injury. Listen, gang, it's going to be another great spring season in North Carolina. It's going to be another great spring season around the country, and I hope to see some of either of y'all's teams make deep runs. Matt, I'm beginning to grudgingly accept that shan't be happening for us at 5-0, but we will get a line this year. I can feel it. I can feel it.
That is all that matters.
Very cool. Well, listen, let's move on to plugs for a little bit. Matt, start us off, man. What you got
So, as we did try to do an all-lefty team. So that started off well. We had about 10 lefties, and slowly the lefties left. I think we're down to 2 lefties now. So we're going to need some allies on our team as well. So we're going to need some righties to play on the team. So we're going to need more people to play frozen assets. Stuart has a team, and I'll have a second one. So if you want to play, let us know. We need probably 6-7 more guys. It's the same as a Frosty Doubles, except for there is a line of singles, but just playing fun tennis in the mornings on the weekends. You're probably playing tennis on the weekends anyway, so you might as well sign up. Oh, and another Kratos, the kitten that we had mentioned, nailed his interview with Nikhil, and he nailed the interview, did great, and he is now at home at his new permanent home with Nikhil and his girlfriend, doing great. They sent us some pictures the other day, so he's doing fantastic.
Follow-up question. Is Nikhil keeping the name Kratos, or is this like a rename situation? What's the game plan?
I told him he's welcome to rename him, but he said he'll probably keep it.
It's a strong name. It's a strong name for anything, but especially a cat.
Yeah.
Here's what I got. Enacta.
Yeah.
It is a prestigious and fantastic organization if you live in the Eno region, but also if you live in any other region, sign up for your CTA. There are some major developments in Durham and Chapel Hill in the Eno region. There are more tournaments that are being looked at, hearing reports that one might even get sanctioned. There are going to be ladders and all kinds of opportunities to play. And every person who signs up, that's money that's going directly to your local tennis community. Hey, let's imagine, I don't know, hypothetically, that you're interested in seeing public clay courts. It is far more likely to happen through a CTA like Enacta than it is from you and your individual group of buddies or you as an individual. It's a really cool thing. And also, shout out to Barb Butterworth and Chris Moffitt. They're doing it, and the rest of the team. They're doing an awesome job. And I think it's fantastic organization. I hope to be a part of it as a board member, but we shall see. But no matter what, it's just rad. Check out your CTA, specifically sign up for Enacta. It's great.
When does voting end? Do you know, Zach?
I don't know. Actually, I really should know that. I know I'm on the ballot.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So make sure you sign up. It's free to sign up. It's free to sign up and be a member. And make sure you vote. We'll post that in the chat again and get guys going.
If we're being totally honest, I really don't think I'm going to win, but I felt like I wanted to sign up to make myself available just in case. And win or lose, definitely want to be involved and plan to be involved with the CTA. And I think anyone who's got a little bit of free time should do the same.
I think you're going to win, and I'm pretty pessimistic, so I think you got to get that.
Is it on Polymarket yet?
On Polymarket?
Yeah, you can bet on anything there, basically.
What is? I don't even know what this is. Do you know what this is, Mike?
Okay, we'll do a whole episode about that in the spring. But I got to get to my second plug, which is the TV series. I'm a little behind here. The Penguin. Holy shit. It's grim. It's grim. It's a Batman spinoff, and they don't have the Batman. Oof. Gotham. Yikes. Big old Yikeruski. Colin Farrell. So good. He's got to win an award for it.
Yeah, he's amazing. Have you seen him, Max?
Yeah.
I have to catch up. Well, I've seen the first 4 episodes.
Okay.
And then travel took over. I'm behind.
Yeah.
It's very good.
He so convincingly plays the most disgusting, despicable human being who is just also kind of tragic. And you're not rooting for him, but you do feel
you feel bad.
Sorry.
Yeah, you feel
bad for this just awful person. Yeah. It's like, it's good. I guess like superhero stuff is a great vehicle for telling like actually compelling and new stories. Because like it really isn't a Batman thing. I'm not normally into the superhero stuff. Yeah. It's more just like a great mafia.
Yeah. It has very little to do with Batman. There's a few references here and there, but if you took out the superhero stuff, it would be almost identical, be the same.
Let's hand it off to Max. Max, what are you plugging this week?
So for my tennis plug, 'tis the season, weather's getting colder. 'tis the season for hand warmers, specifically hot hands. I highly recommend them. Put them in your jacket, do whatever it takes. It really makes those cold tennis matches a lot more bearable.
Yeah.
When you can keep your hands warm. I can't play with gloves on.
No.
Doesn't Stewart plays with gloves sometimes, doesn't he?
What?
I feel like I've
So
seen
Mike
it.
Westlander
Or maybe it's
actually tipped me off to this. If the hockey mitt liners are really thin and are actually perfect for playing tennis with them.
No.
See, Matt, you don't count
no.
though. You're from Indiana, so for you can handle the
You gotta
cold.
feel
I'm
it.
a baby,
you gotta
man.
feel it with your raw hands.
If it's under 55, get me a hand warmer or a glove.
Hand
or whatever.
warmer
Yeah,
is a perfectly fine substitute. You gotta feel the racket with your skin, man. It's not right.
What about an offhand? Would you go offhand glove? You've got a one-hander, so you could.
I don't care what I do with my right hand's useless, so yeah, that's fine.
Hand warmer is your tennis plug. Max, what you got for us non-tennis wise?
Non-tennis wise, so I know ultimately it was a couple months ago, but the Hurricane Helene recovery effort is still very much ongoing in the western part of our state. As I know the pod is a friend to the animals, big and small, I want to plug one of our, and by our, the ASPCA's partner organizations. That was their entire facility was destroyed by the hurricane, and they are still actively working to rebuild. They're actually using some space of ours on our campus in Asheville while they rebuild this year. But Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is the facility in question. They're a phenomenal organization, a great partner clinic, a foster-based adoption network, as well as doing spay-neuter surgeries throughout Western North Carolina. So they're a great resource and friends to animals in this season of giving. If you find it within yourself, I plug Brother Wolf.
Nice. That's great to hear.
That's a tough one to argue with.
Yeah, hey.
That's a good one. You should do it.
Yeah.
I arguably more pressing than stuff with your local CTA.
A little
both
bit.
are good. Both are good.
Not up
Yeah.
to clay, not up to public clay court level, right?
Me personally, give me the public play over whatever those animals are going on. But I get what you're saying. I concur. Let's get into sectionals, folks.
Yeah.
Max, why don't you start in the middle?
Yeah.
Then just do a quick preview of the end, go back to the beginning, and then back to the middle, and then back to the end of the beginning, then go all the way to the end and tell us what happened.
Yeah, that sounds great. So where do you want me to start?
The beginning.
Yeah,
Let's keep like this isn't Pulp Fiction.
We brought that up because we those of us who aren't there, we read in the chats and we're like getting random reports. So it's if you could tell us the story from the beginning to the end, like what happened in chronological order.
I'm
I think
actually
that would
thinking
help us.
we go past the beginning and actually go back to the beginning of the beginning, where what teams are we talking about, and how did you get to sectionals in the first place?
that's
Like, give us
great.
the whole. This is your floor,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So this team, the one that ended up going to sectionals, was a 7-5 combo team. It's combo doubles, of course, being and 7-5 being a 4-0 and a 3-5 pairing from Raleigh. So this was the Raleigh
Okay.
team that I captained. Great group of guys. So we had the regular season, and Raleigh 7-5 had a playoff to even make it to states. Ultimately, we won the playoff match. We won it 3-0, but I actually think opponents defaulted a line in the playoff match.
Jeez.
But we swept the other two because, availability for opponent was limited. The playoff match was also the same time as single states. So that hampered things a bit too. So not ideal, I think, for anyone, but it worked in our favor. So I'm not really going to argue with it at this point. And what's done is done now. It doesn't matter anymore. So then in November, we go to states down in Wilmington. So Wilmington, North Carolina. We had a good number go down to states. I can't remember exactly how many we had. I think 11 or 12, something like that, which is phenomenal to have that many people go. We had a great time. We played you play your 4 kind of like round robin matches or whatever. And then you top 4 teams do a semifinal, and then winner of that plays the final. So we think we won all of our matches for that one. So
you think so?
Wow.
You think
Yeah.
you won all of them?
Because sometimes you don't win all the round robin. So I was trying to make sure. I couldn't remember if we won all 4 round robins or not, but I think we did. I think we went 4-0 in the round robin, and then we won our semifinal match versus Lake Norman, and then we beat the Cary team in the finals.
Nice.
And that was
Oh, that's
a very
funny.
dramatic final.
You guys
'cause-
drove all that way just to play.
Yeah, just
a
to
bunch
play
of guys from
Cary. Yeah.
And we had played them in the round robin too.
Oh, wow.
What
we
was the
played 'em at-
drama? Was it just a tight match? Was it like what's the deal?
Yeah, it was super tight. Obviously, they're all incredible players. It was very strong. It was a super strong final. It was the two teams I felt deserved to be in the final for sure. And then they won. They won on court 2 or court 3. I can't remember the actual order we played the courts in, but they won on one of the courts in straight sets. Not like handily, it was a close match, but they won it in straights. And then the other 2 courts started their third set tiebreakers at the exact same time. So we
You had
had
to win them both.
we had
Yeah.
dueling third set tiebreakers going, and Tyler and Mark won their third set tiebreaker relatively comfortably, like by an okay margin.
Yeah.
And then Parv and Jason High. I don't know if
Okay.
any of y'all know him, but he's out of McGregor Downs, is where he mostly plays, but he was on the team. And they were down, I think, 7-8 or 6-9 or something like that. Some stupid deficit in the third set tiebreaker, but ultimately came back to win it, to clinch states. So
Are these matches available on Swing Vision for somebody that wants to check them out?
Only if Mark was recording.
Yeah,
Son of a
shoot.
gun. Shoot indeed.
So it was beautiful tennis all weekend down in Wilmington. Weather after a
How
bit
was
of
the
a
weather?
wet-
Yeah.
There was a weather delay on the first day.
Always.
But
Wilmington.
ultimately we got in all the matches and we didn't have to modify format, so that was really nice.
It does question before we get to the real thing, sectionals here, right? Is Wilmington the best host of states? It seems like it's the right combination of the weather's good, it's a pretty fun city.
It rains all the time.
Yeah, but it's
the
nice
weather
out.
sucks.
There's a
weather
breeze.
sucks.
What? Yeah, it
No, the
rains,
weather
but like it's
sucks.
a breeze. There's the ocean in the back. What are you talking about? Where? Okay, you'd rather
No.
play in Asheville in November than Wilmington?
Yeah.
Oh,
That sounds
well,
great.
See, your Midwest is showing again, Matt. That's no way.
No,
It's too cold.
so
It's too cold in
The
Nashville.
only
Wilmington's
reason
nice.
the reason Wilmington's not the best. So 3 years in a row now, Combo States
Yeah.
has been impacted by rain.
Yeah.
And there's no indoor court availability in Wilmington. And on top of that, city has more damn traffic lights than any city I've ever been to. It takes forever to drive anywhere. It's the most absurd thing. You have to sit there and plan where you're going 45 minutes ahead of time because the town is packed of tennis players and they don't even have their traffic lights timed. So you're going to hit every single red light between here and 1.5 miles away.
So, what city do you prefer for states in North Carolina as a host city?
I had a really good time actually in Greensboro for mixed. The the facilities were great.
Was that at Spencer
got-
Love?
Some were at Spencer Love.
Oh yeah, that's such an interesting facility.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this. It's a public clay facility, or they have
Wow.
public clay courts there. Yeah,
No.
in Greensboro.
Never heard
Yeah,
of that.
isn't that interesting? That's so
Yeah, it
interesting.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the facilities were great. Getting around the town was easy enough. It was, and on top of that, it's the right distance. If you want to get a
Exactly.
hotel, you can easily justify it. If you want to do the down and back from the triangle, you can also
not
easily
bad.
justify that.
Yeah.
So you can really have it. You can have it whichever way you want at that point.
Yeah.
It's the Burger King of states destinations. You can have it your way. Absolutely.
That's funny.
All right, Max. Now get us to really the
Yeah.
end of the middle of the story, which is you're at sectionals or you're going to sectionals. Break it down for us.
Yeah, we're going to sectionals. So sectionals are in Mobile, Alabama. All of combo sectionals is in Mobile, Alabama. One weekend, 1,500 players, all the different
Whoa.
ones. Whole southern section, which is just wonderful to see. The energy around the Mobile tennis facility is awesome. They've got 65 courts there.
What?
65?
Yep.
Wow.
Is this a public facility?
Yeah, public facility in
That's
Mobile.
insane.
Yo,
How many does CTP have?
not 65, like
I
30
know.
something.
I'm
I
trying to
wanna say?
like get a how can I compare
Yeah,
the two?
these courts are all very close together. I would say the total land area is probably less than CTP.
Oh, they're
But
tiny.
these courts, they pack the courts in.
Okay.
I
okay.
want to know how this facility got built in the first place so we can like rip off however they did it in the triangle. That's sick.
Yeah.
65 public courts, all closely contained. Whew.
Cool.
Yeah, 65 public courts and 22 parking spaces.
That's how they did it. That's how they did it. They didn't put any parking in. Okay, so you guys drove down there, right?
Yeah, we had a mix. We had some
Oh, you had
guys
a mix.
drive, some
Okay.
guys fly. So that way, the guys that were flying dropped off their bags with the guys that were driving, so people weren't
did
checking
that.
their tennis
Yeah.
rackets onto the plane and stuff like that. Me and Ezra carpooled on down to
Nice.
Mobile, and again, fortunately, we had 12 guys willing to go to Mobile, Alabama
Yeah.
for a long weekend, which is one of the craziest. Getting 12 out of 15 to go to
Yeah.
Mobile, Alabama is unheard of. We
Yeah.
had more guys registered there than any other of our
Oh,
opponents.
wow.
Next highest was the team that we played in the finals. They had 11.
A lot of people call the south of France the Mobile of Europe.
Do they?
Oh yeah, yeah. I hear reports all the time about that. Is that?
I mean,
can you confirm, Max? Was that your experience?
Given that Mobile, Alabama is home of the original Mardi Gras, this tracks.
Oh,
I did not know that.
didn't know that.
Look
That's
at,
a fun fact.
I've
That is
got
a fun
Mobile
fact.
fun facts for you.
Give us a couple more. What you got? Yeah,
That was the extent of my fun
great.
fact.
That was it was
Fun
such a fun
fact.
one. We didn't need more. Yeah, it should count as
Yeah.
multiple.
Yeah. Okay, so you're in the great city of Mobile, Alabama. You get there. You're in your hotel? What do you do? So how many who are you playing? Was it a round robin? Tell us the format.
Yeah, so there were 8 teams that were there.
Okay.
We're talking 8 teams, and at sectionals, all the scoring is no ad. You do play the 2 out
What?
of 3 with a 10-point tiebreaker, but it's all no ad
Ooh.
scoring.
Wait,
Why?
is that
Why? How can
is
they
that
change
a
that
combo
rule?
thing? That was not at Spring when we
Yeah,
went for
it's for Southern. It's for combo.
Okay, so
They-
how does one go about changing that rule? Because I hate that.
you will never get that changed because that's the way that they're able to have 1,500 players use 65 courts and get the whole thing done in one weekend.
Can they just build 8 more courts or something? I don't know. Like there's 22 parking spaces. Turn them into courts.
Yeah. Bus
that
people
one-
in.
Yeah, that one ain't changing. And you know
Wow.
that
Okay,
going
so
in-
you got to
you-
prepare for that. Yeah.
Yeah, going into it, so you practice it. The team practiced no ad for every practice, going about 3 weeks in, starting 3 weeks before sectionals, and every practice for
Okay.
the last 3 weeks was a no ad practice. And so you can't change it, so you just embrace it at that point.
Okay.
So we get
Okay.
there. Our very first match, we played the host team, Alabama. The guys start off real strong, and we get a 2-1 win against the hosts, Alabama, which was a great start. Second match, we have Louisiana. The thing is, all the teams are strong, right? There's nobody there.
Yeah.
All the teams have 3-5s that have all been bumped to 4-0. All the teams have 4-0s that have been bumped
Right.
to 4-5. You're basically running 8-5 at 7-5, or at least 8-0 at 7-5. So all the teams are strong.
Okay.
Which was the weakest, just out of curiosity? Like, what region just churns out the most mediocre men's recreational tennis players?
It varies depending on the level, but the team that finished at the bottom of the 7-5 standings this year was Tennessee. They went 0-4 in their round robin. We didn't play them, so I have no idea what they actually looked like on court.
Not very Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. It's a little colder. So you had Louisiana, Alabama in your bracket. Then you played 2 more. I'm assuming.
Yeah, then we played, and we actually
Georgia.
lost to Georgia in our
Georgia's
round
tough.
robin. One. We
Yeah.
lost to them in our round robin.
Was that an Atlanta Metro team? Because they've got a reputation for having really good players.
It was an Atlanta team.
Yeah.
They're really good.
They
What
were.
team?
They were a really good team.
Question.
Things happen.
Was that your first loss? Was that your guys' first loss of the season?
That was our first loss.
Wow.
Technically, if you look at the regular season, it shows that we went 8-1 during the regular season, but the 1 was a 1-1 draw with a double default. So they had to give someone the win and someone the loss, and it didn't
Okay.
matter because the only reason
Yeah,
we
you
agreed
wouldn't
to the
leave,
double
yeah.
default is because us and the opponent were going to be the 2 teams in the playoff anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
So the score of the last line didn't actually matter.
Okay.
Right.
So we figured let's not even bother playing the court because everybody
Okay.
had already been qualified for states. So it was just a
Yeah.
waste of everyone's time to even bother playing the court. And rescheduling it was a hassle because of all the rain we were getting earlier this year.
Yeah.
So we just double defaulted it. So technically,
Okay.
it's a loss on the record sheet, but it was a 1-1 draw.
Yeah. Okay, so that's your first loss. So you got to recover from. And Georgia's really good. They seem to be
Yeah.
always good every time. So you got your loss. So a lot of times that can be like that's it. Like, it's over. But you guys were able to come back from that.
It could break a weaker team, but not.
Yeah, mood was a little despondent at lunch.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mobile, provided for the players every day.
What do
So
you
that was
what are you
really
working
nice.
with? Are we talking Sandos here? We talking wraps?
So
we
they had
talking
a whole
salads?
selection. Like they had
Stop.
multiple. Like you could go to. They had Dickie's barbecue there. They had.
That's not great midday tennis food though.
Yeah,
Dickie's
they
barbecue.
had Jersey Mike. Well, so the unsung hero of the lunch was, if you got the grilled chicken Caesar salad from Dickie's barbecue,
That's a good idea.
they were like cutting up the chicken right there for you. Like the chicken breast was like.
What?
Yeah,
Folks,
it
if
was,
you're listening at home, I don't know if you
This
can
is-
tell. You get the VIP treatment if you make it the combo
Wow.
sectionals. A little extra motivation to really bring it this spring and summer and fall.
that's right. You get a free shirt. And by free, I mean you pay for it in your registration fee, but they give it to you.
They do. You get it. Wow.
You feel like a champ.
What kind of material is that shirt? Is that cotton or is that a blend? Is that a nice blend?
No, we're talking about this is like a athletic shirt.
Yeah.
yeah.
Full
Okay.
poly.
Yeah.
It's a Vuori branded combo shirt.
That's right.
Okay. So you get a good lunch in. Yeah, that refuels you. And then who do you play next?
Then we play Arkansas. So Arkansas had two teams because they got the wild card as well.
Okay.
So we played the main Arkansas team,
Okay.
and they're good. And the guys were hot after that loss to Georgia, and we
Yeah.
in the last match of the round robin, we absolutely decimated Arkansas. They got 11 games.
Oh wow.
Wow, that's not supposed to happen at sectionals. They really brought it.
Yeah.
Who was the
across-
lineup? Give a shout out to the lineup for that day.
Yeah.
That lineup was, oh man, hold up. That lineup was definitely Mark
Okay.
Sure
Yeah.
and Tyler Carroll. They were 100% there. Ezra Suho and Christopher Green were definitely in that lineup. And then I think Parv and Jason High
Okay.
were the third line. But hold on, I think it was Parv and Jason High.
We'll get comments. We'll get some fact checks. We'll get some
Yeah.
fact checkers.
Yeah, I feel very confident that was it though.
That's a lineup where not only would they get wins at 8-5, like those guys could all have winning records together at 8-5 combo.
Yeah,
like
they probably
pretty
will next
comfortably.
year.
And they probably hey, maybe they'll run it back again. Yeah. So you decimate Arkansas.
Yeah.
Nice to see them take one. And then what? And then do you automatically
Yeah, what's
advance to the semis or what?
So at 3-1, we advanced to the semis. Mississippi was 4-0. So as y'all might not know, but Mississippi this past year won the 4-0 and the 3-5 and the 3-0 national championship.
What did they put in the water in Mississippi? I would not have guessed that.
I didn't think they put
Yeah.
anything. I thought they took out all the good stuff.
They're
They're-
last in
yeah.
everything, but
Yeah.
apparently not tennis.
Yeah, they got some studs playing down there, and that was for the spring season that they won nationals. So they went 4-0 in the round robin. So they were coming in hot. And then we were 3-1, and then there was a whole bunch of teams at 2-2. So two 2-2 teams made it to the semis. And they were both the Arkansas teams. So the Arkansas regular team and then the Arkansas wildcard team
Okay.
both made it to the semis.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm confused. Arkansas had two teams at sectionals?
Yes.
How did that
Because
happen?
only 7 teams registered. So there's 9 states in the southern section.
Oh.
So only 7 registered, and then if they got one more with an 8-team draw, they would do a semifinal final as opposed to just a final. So they brought in a wild card, which was chosen, I think, at random, and Arkansas happened to get the bid.
Yeah. That'll happen sometimes.
Yeah, so they got eight teams, which meant a final.
Cool. So who'd you get first in the semifinal?
So we played the Arkansas wildcard team first in the semifinal.
All right.
Competitive match or what? Was it
Very
a tight one?
competitive.
Oh.
It was another 2-1 win, and again they won the first court in straights, and then we won both the others in third set tiebreakers.
Oh my gosh.
A little flair for the dramatic
Wow,
from the
that
fellas here,
is.
Max. Yeah.
A lot of it, a lot of tiebreakers,
Yeah.
and then I would say the biggest upset of the tournament was on the other semifinal court. the Arkansas team that we had just demolished in the last of the round robins the day before actually beat Mississippi
Wow.
2-1. And Mississippi, everybody thought they were definitely one of the favorites, if not the favorite going into it. They had a kid on the team who is going to play junior college. He's committed to play. He's a senior in high school right now. He's committed to playing JUCO next year.
Yeah.
And he's got his singles UTR is like in the 9s.
Oh,
Wait, how did this kid possibly maintain a 4.0 rating if he's a high school senior going to play JUCO with an UTR 9?
I don't know.
4.0S, I'm guessing?
I assumed so. Ultimately, we never had to face him.
Yeah.
So I was like, it is what it is. Never had to face him, but he was really good.
Yeah.
I watched him play a match, and I was like,
So so in the finals then,
good.
you're matched up against a team that you lost how many games to the first time you played?
11, I believe.
11.
Right?
Yeah, we lost 11 games the first time.
How many games you lose in the finals?
A lot more than 11.
Oh, another close one?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we did sweep in the finals.
Okay.
Okay.
We ultimately did sweep. They changed their lineup a whole lot.
Yeah.
They changed their lineup. They changed. They definitely, like, I don't think they gave us their best shot in that round robin. I think they had done the math and where they were. They knew that like they had already clinched semis, worst case scenario, so they were okay with it.
They were saving their best. They didn't want to reveal too much.
Yeah, they played, and I've known that Arkansas captain for a year now because we played against each other last year at sectionals, and he's a good guy. But they definitely gave us a better lineup in the finals.
Yeah.
Whereas I rolled Tyler and Mark, Jason and Parv, and then Ezra and Christopher again, and two of them went to third set breakers, and we pulled out one of them. We got in straights. Ezra and Christopher won in straight sets. Wow. But the other two went to third set breakers, and we pulled it out.
It's crazy that Billy is on the bench in this situation. Billy Clark is on the bench. That's wild. That's how strong this team
Billy
was.
is not on that team.
Oh, I thought he was.
No,
I saw him in pictures. Oh, he just came to say hi?
He was there for 8-5. Billy Clark.
Oh, that makes more sense.
That's how tall he is, yeah?
Yeah, Billy Clark was there for his 8-5 team made it to sectionals.
Oh, I thought he was on this team. Okay. I saw him in pictures and got confused.
He was there supporting us.
Nice.
That's really cool.
Yes. No, Billy, would have loved to have Billy on his team.
Yeah.
For the record, Billy was invited to this team. He turned me down. Let that one be known. He did play on a different 7-5 combo team of mine, but for this particular one, he was invited and he did turn me down.
For the spring, obviously, which we talked about earlier, there's a national level. Why no national for sectionals? I don't get it.
For combo?
Yeah. Sorry, for combo sec. Yeah.
I think there's only a couple of other sections that actually have a sectional for combo. For most sections, it's just a for fun league, if they even have it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the southern section is the one that takes it the most seriously. I think Midwest section also has a sectional for it.
I guess I'd just like to say to all of our, probably at this point, Matt, would you say millions of listeners in other sections? Get your shit together.
I ran the numbers. Yeah.
You're an engineer. Get your shit together. Other sections, combos is sick. It's great.
It's the best league. I think
fun.
it's objectively the best league. It's fun. Yeah, it's great.
If you're the lower rated player, there is zero pressure, and if you're the higher rated player, hey, you're gonna be one of the two best players in the court most of the time, so you look good. It's great. Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Combo's my favorite league.
I agree. I think it's the most fun.
I'm a singles guy, even though I'm not built for it, but I hear you. Outside of singles, combo is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
I just like the vibe in combo. I think it's great.
It is. Isn't it a great vibe? I've just had so much fun playing combo. I can't. Yeah, I've had my favorite matches have been combo. Great. I've had some great wins, some tough losses, but yeah, I've had the most fun.
Combo is also where being a 4-0 is just the greatest thing in the world because you can play 7-5, you can play 8-5, and both are phenomenal. If you're a crazy good 4-0, you can play 9-5.
Yeah.
And it's the most fun in the world. Being a 4-0 for combo season is just perfect.
7-5 was some of my favorite.
Max, anything else to add about your victory and trip to sectionals for you and the team before we wrap up?
I think the biggest thing is just it was just such a special season with a really special group of guys. Some of the guys knew each other before the season, there, but like in like different pockets and groups, and everybody got along great. We did team houses for states and team houses for sectionals. It all went really well. We had phenomenal food for states. We had phenomenal food at sectionals in Alabama. There was some crazy good restaurants that we ended up going to down in Mobile. One of the best dinners I've had in a while was at a restaurant called Noja down in Mobile. It was just phenomenal, and everybody was down there, and everybody got along great. And there was just no egos on this team. I told everybody I'll get everybody one match. If you're going to Alabama, I'm gonna get you one match.
Yeah.
But beyond that, everybody had common goals for the team, and ultimately we were able to accomplish all of it. And it's so special to be able to win with that group of guys. Like, we would have had a great time even if we didn't win. And so winning on top of it was just phenomenal. It was it was probably the best overall season experience I've ever had.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Wow. Max, thank you so much for being on today. Just before we get out of here, one question as our attorney. Is it fair to say that the views represented on this podcast by you, myself, and Matt are, in fact, the views of the Walt Disney Corporation?
Of the Walt Disney Corporation?
Yeah, is that okay? Is that an okay thing to say?
Why would you indicate that?
I agree, too. Yeah. Where did that come from?
Oh, I hope this doesn't get cut. I want this to be the end. Oh, okay. So the views you expressed are not the views of the Walt Disney Corporation. We that's confirmed?
Not my... Yeah.
What a year it's been. Max, thank you for being our attorney, for keeping us out of legal trouble. Matt, thank you so much for doing this with me. Matt, any closing words before we take a break for a few months before we come back in the spring?
I hope we continue to be, folks, third to fourth favorite podcast. That's really what we're here for.
That's like a lot better than I think both of us thought it was going to be. So thank you for making us your unequivocal third, fourth, hey, maybe even fifth favorite podcast.
That's okay.
We'll take it. And if you're listening this far and you haven't subscribed, like I don't understand what's going on with you. Click the button and also follow our Instagram account. Daniel Marchek does good work, great work for the Triangle Tennis Podcast on our Instagram. And hey, you might see yourself or somebody as one of the highlights. Folks, thanks so much. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next year.
Please captain teams.
That was perfect. That was perfect.